Here we are,
Nice,
the
nice.
three SCART admins. Oh my god, this is so freaking exciting. Dude, so can you hear us? Oh, he's muted.
Sometimes the sound is
Finally,
a trick.
There you go.
Okay, now he's really
finally,
loud.
guys. Hi.
Man. Hi
Wow,
there.
How much time?
it's
Way
been a
too much.
minute.
Yeah, it seems more like a century, but
Has it been like a decade?
more or less, yeah. Like 8 years, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like a long time because it really has been a long time.
Yeah, sure, man. A lot of things just passed by, but good to know you're still on this thing, man, and especially now with the growth it will have with all this mayhem we have around the world. So it's great to see you guys.
Truly.
Tusa, it's great to see you, really, because, you know, every once in a while, whenever there's an anniversary or whatever, I go to Tusa and say, "Hey, Tusa, look, we're doing this and that," and because he obviously started all this and made me an admin, and he's like, "Oh, good job, Ori," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
And that's it.
All right, so I just interviewed Dan for an hour. He told a lot of BS as he always does, and now
Not
since
to change.
Wow.
and now since we're all three together, what do we want to talk about?
You know, if I could ask, I don't have a lot of time left because I've been on here for an hour and a half, but I would love to hear how, because I mean, Ori, you didn't start that, and I didn't start like the modern SCART, right? That was Tuso, right?
Yep.
See, I want to know how the modern-ish version of SCART ever came to be. I've never heard it.
Wow. Well, it's it was like in mid 2010, mid 2010. I was looking for some replacement league for another one. I'm sure you heard about it. There was a sim racing league back in the time called Syndicar.
Yep.
I was playing there. That's that on that sim racing league. I met Justin Shower, and as you know, he tried to do something, but not 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 that not that big thing, not with not enough discipline. So um, basically, I told him, hey, if we want to do this in a serious way, in a manner that we could become something really big, we have to do it better. So by around August, September 2010, um, I decided to start our very first league with another really old member from that time called Logitech. Of course, there was Justin. There were another guys that appears in some races, not in all of them. Was, if I remember correctly, it was a 10 race season every Sunday on the afternoon, like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. every Sunday. So we started running, and basically it was a free forum. I mean, I think it was on Zeta boards, the forum, the very first forum we have. And that was it. That was it pretty much. The forums and the R Factor server with card factor mode. Even the very basic original card factor mode. So it has a lot of things to be fixed. And just for your reference, a couple of days ago, Ori contacted me talking about the old information from our very first hosting server. In fact, Ori, I didn't find any information, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what was the freaking login ID to that hosting, so I don't have any information. I'm still searching.
Hey, Tuso, one thing I didn't realize after all these years was, so basically you and Justin and Ben were like, you three broke off to do SCART. Like I knew Ben has been around for a long time, aka Logitech, but I didn't know he was like one of like the original people that really branched off to do this.
Yeah, we started working on something with Ben, and also with Justin. In fact, Ben was the really big contender for that first SCART season in winter 2010. He helped us a lot setting up the server and making all the configurations for the tracks and the setups and all that stuff. And wow, it was a great support for the early days of SCART. Um, I, I've had plenty of experience as a league administrator from on that moment because I've been in this sim racing stuff since 2006, I guess, 2005. I've been running with some really old simulation games like Jeff Cramon's GP4, NASCAR Racing 2003 from Papyrus. Of course, our factor was a turning point, but I have plenty of experience during the races to some administration stuff. So that was covered, but the day by day tasks to setting up the server, making the setups, helping each other to build a better race car. That wasn't my biggest skill, I guess. So Ben helped us a lot with it. The late Matt, Ben's brother, he helped us in the very early days. So it was really special, man. It was really special. And I remember a lot that first season, that first SCART season. Not only because we work with our bare hands basically, but also because, of course, that was my first championship in sim racing. Of course, the series didn't have by any means, by no means, the pro level that we have in the upcoming years. But it was really special for me because I've never ever thought that I could win any championship on sim racing. I drove because I love to go racing, and I consider myself a frustrated driver. But well, go from that point to even think that I could win a championship, that was another thing, completely different.
That's amazing. I can't believe that I I talk to Ben so often, and I never really realized that. I must feel dumb that he was part of the whole movement right from the very beginning. That's just amazing. Yeah, because I knew that they provided the server. I think I don't know if him or Matt were the ones that really configured the server, but I know they had their desks right next to each other and they'd race together and they had the server for us as well. But I just didn't realize he was one of you guys. That's just amazing. I love it.
In fact, the first SCART series website, the domain was scartseries.com, and the hosting was a free one on 260 megabyte. I decided to build the entire website from scratch as a way to say, hey, thank you for everything you are making for this bunch of people, and you know, they, either Matt or Ben, they never ever ask for a dime to support with the server. I think that conversation came a few years later when we tried to make even more professional championship. But on that moment, they paid the server out of their pockets. So the first SCAR series website was a way to say thank you, and I remember making also the highlights videos in my old compact Presario PC.
Wow.
Oh, you had one of those also?
There were some good times because with that PC I have had to do magic with that really old PC and make some good videos to support and to spread the series on YouTube. Um, but it was mostly for fun. I think we ever try to do this for fun, and it's great to remember all of this.
Well, Ori, I think I'm going to have to exit here. I've been on here for a long time. I'm so glad I just heard that because that's just hilarious. I didn't know that after all these years. So it's great to hear your voice too, so as well. I remember it now. So it's great listening.
You remember me swearing everybody?
Yeah.
On the big servers.
Tusa don't fuck around. He drops the hammer if we need it. That's right.
Mr. Banhammer.
Hell yeah, the band hammer.
Oh God! Hey, thank you for inviting me to this Discord server. It's the first time I use Discord, so I'll be here more often.
Yeah, that's for great. Sure. You can definitely drop in and hear our races and you know this is where most people don't come on here very often this time of day and talk. There's always a lot of material though. You can see we have our own SCART channel, MF1, MF2, IndyCar. So those are our series that are going on. There's lots of information in each one of those channels about our championships and stuff. So feel free, man. You're more than welcome. You helped build this shit, man.
Awesome, Dan. Thank you very much, man.
You're welcome. Sorry, Ori, I have to leave. It's only almost hour and a half now.
Just get lost, okay?
All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Hey, you want me
later,
to
Dan.
Bye. Do you want me to put you back in the private channel, Ori, so that everybody leaves you guys alone?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
All right, man. Oh man, what a sweetness. I would be running my mouth, but I was just shutting up and enjoying you telling all that. Okay, well, I have to let this sink in for a while. And don't worry, I'm recording all the time. I'm just gonna cut this and make some sense out of it.
All right, man. No problem. Thank you for your patience. There were not easy. The last couple of weeks weren't that easy, and
Yeah, I can imagine.
you already know because of why. You know why. All right. It's just going forward and keep working and keep doing things.
Exactly, man. So how you been?
Well, so far, actually good. Here in Colombia, this COVID mayhem has been awful here, but thankfully, I've been able to stay at home, working my usual stuff from home. So I'm fine. I'm helping my mother here. Is living with me at home right now, so I'm helping her. Um, and I came back to the sim racing. If you have to take that as a good news, I'm starting over with the sim racing. I just started on iRacing and also on AMS. So I'm training like every night once again. So it's great to have this time to be back on track.
Well, I love what I hear. You're back on sim racing and IMS. It just so happens that we run SCART and most of the series here at online racing, onlinesimracing.net on IMS. And of course, we have Racing Nexus still going where Dragon runs R Factor 1. Um, that's freaking awesome. I'm so happy. Okay, so have you heard
Yeah,
from
it's great.
Bretas and the guys? Like, what are they doing? I see Bretas post these figures, these big headed figures.
Yeah, he's an avid collector of those figures, and I can believe like I think he might have like 200, 300. I don't know how much
Oh my!
he has right now, but it's a freaking collector.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Usually you have questions for the interview. I don't have any of that. It's the same I did with Justin Lee and Zdravko and Dan today. Um, I call it just remembering and reflecting. And so whatever you want to, I mean, obviously we did with Dan together, but um, tell us how you started sim racing.
Okay, so that started in Argentinian forum, like in 2006. I started making some appearances in an Argentinian championship using the old but really famous Geoff Cramer's Grand Prix 4,
Yeah.
a really great Formula One simulator. The only bad thing that simulator has is that it hasn't it haven't well, I don't know. Yeah, it didn't have a proper online mode. So we our championship was about make the fastest lap. So
Right.
you you have basically 1 week, 7 days to keep running in time trials. I mean, with the whole track for yourself and keep posting the fastest lap time you can get. And you with another program with a patch, I guess that you have for that game, you download the data from that fastest lap and then you upload it to a server where there were the rankings. It was really special from the very beginning for a couple things. First of all, it was my first experience running with someone else. I've been driving in NASCAR, especially in Formula One, racing games since 96 and 97. So I've always, I love all my life, I love racing games. But that championship was the first time I was competing against some other real people. So that was really special. And second, because well, back in the time we didn't know, but as of now, I have the honor to share track and share championship and have some words of advice from one of the biggest Argentinians touring car champions as of right now, Agustin Canapino.
Okay.
He's the son of one of the most prolific car mechanics in the Argentinian touring car history. His father is a legend in Argentinian motorsports. So the kid was, of course, really quick from the beginning, and he 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 almost win week in and week out. But he also helped a lot of people, and I received my first my first advices about setting up a car properly, thanks to him. So it was really special. Then that championship came from 2006 like to 2008. I guess that was the final hot laps championship, and then we jump from GP4 to R Factor and to NASCAR Racing 2003. And at that moment was the time when I jumped from the cockpit to be a simple driver to become a league admin. Uh, that forum, that Argentinian forum, gave me the opportunity to make the first NASCAR championship there. Of course, the influence of Juan Pablo Montoya on NASCAR helped a lot in the Latin American fans to build a league, and we drove that league for 4 seasons, 4 years, like 2007 to 2011, and it was great also because we use great simulation games, and of course for me was really special because finally I've had the chance to do some experiments on the league. So for example, every year I did paint with a cousin of mine our own dedicated server for 1 month straight, and giving that server open for all our forum members. And we create a NASCAR race at Indianapolis with 250 miles. That was the longest race at the moment for the forum. It was really special because it wasn't easy to run for such a long distance on racing. It is not easy. It's not easy even today, but at that moment it was I think it was even more crazy. But such great moments, man. And well, by 2010, 2009, I joined SyndiCar. I drove with Paul Todd, with I think there were, well, Justin Pechauer were there as well. Kevin Bean. Um, there were Bretas as well. There were he raced there as well. And by 2010, we started to move over from SyndiCar because that league was there were a lot of problems between the administrators, and I have some issues with the way they were conducting the races. Um, it seems more and more often like they were supporting the two or three administrators to win every time. So that wasn't really fair. I mean, they didn't even need to to conduct the races that way because they were fast from the very beginning. So I've never understand why they did that, but that was that was the time to move over, and well, we started SCART.
I'm listening. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Did you
Yeah,
see? I
it's
posted
been
your first ever forum post here on the Discord channel.
yeah. I was reading that, man. Talking about a shorter schedule, standard physics. Yeah, for me, the point number three of that post was the gold standard, man. If you have clear rules,
Yeah,
clear yet simple rules,
yeah,
it was better to everybody.
exactly. So you actually wrote, as in really wrote the first ever free SCART website, right? Right?
I did that, man. I'm still looking for the password to access that forum. I think I have to find some backup information. I have a hard drive here at home. I promise I will start to digging on that hard disk and try to find it. Even if we don't have the original access to the hosting, at least I want to find the original source code so we can set up any basic hosting and try to show to the people how were that very first SCART website. It was really basic. Most of the information were images because it was easier for me to build information on images, but it was it was it was great. It was a great moment there.
It must have been because it lasted for 10 years. So, um, man, okay. Um, I have to ask you, how did you guys perceive me in the beginning?
In fact, I remember that I don't know why, but you were the one who joined us in the races. That was after my first championship, after the first season, the first SCAR season by early 2011. I don't know who bring you into to the league, but well, you came and you never left.
Yeah, sounds about right. And what about Dan? How was your? I mean, obviously you were getting increasingly busy with work and everything. But what's your impression of Dan from back then?
Yeah, man, I swear you, when I won that first SCAR championship, I knew that was my only moment of glory on the league because I knew something bigger is coming up. But man, the beginning of the second championship, uh, I enjoy a lot because one of our rules back then was just like in Formula One today that if you are the champion, you can decide to use the number one on your car, but
Right.
no one else can use it. So, well, I said, well, he said, well, go the hell. I have to use it because probably I will never ever be a champion again. So I have to use it and I have to enjoy it. So I decided to put my number one on the car. But man, the the skill and the level of the competition on that second championship was out of this world, man. It was amazing. I tried and I did some efforts back then to go and fight for the top five, and well, it was really hard. And but at the same time, I was pretty happy that the early efforts that we did with Ben, with Matt, with Justin. Sometimes in some races we were just running five guys, four guys on the first championship,
Oh yeah, I
and we
noticed.
decided to keep pushing and keep moving forward because every week we know that we were trying to reach new people and to watch on 2011 that the race grid came from 4 or 5 cars to 10 to 15, and I think by the end of that year we even did in the 500 style of qualifying because we have to cut off people.
Yeah, we had 60 contenders.
Yeah, it's just amazing, man. How quickly everything developed from that moment on.
Yeah, boy, boy. So, I mean, I think we have covered SCART fairly well by now. What about CMF, Colombia Motor Fans?
Wow, Colombia Motor Fans was another side project that became in a really great and beautiful experience for me. Um, well, you already know by now that I am a frustrated race car driver. In fact, here in Colombia, I have I did an official driving school for the National Karting Federation. So if I decided, if I had the money, I will be able to build or to have my racing cart and go to a track and drive in a professional championship here. But it's really expensive.
Yeah,
I did that karting school in 2011, and at that moment I decided, well, I can't fulfill my dream of being a race car driver, not yet. But I started thinking on other ways to keep moving with my passion, because motorsports are my passion all my life. It has been my passion. So by 2012, I met another guy here in Bogota. Uh, his name is Eduardo. He's the other partner uh, in Colombia Motor Fans. Him and I, he and I are we are the owners of Colombia Motor Fans, and he worked in marketing division of NASCAR in the U.S. back in 2011. Um, Basically, he didn't have the chance to stay there on NASCAR, but he brings to Colombia many tips and tricks for the national championship here in Colombia to have a more professional championship here, real championship. And then one day I sat down with him in the office and started talking about everything. And at that moment, I told him, "Hey, I have an idea." Uh, back then in 2012, I told him, there is one problem with the Colombian drivers here in Colombia. I said to him, "You as a fan, you as a motorsports fan, don't have any um, any official source of information about what is doing the Colombian drivers every day. But at that moment, you only knew about a Colombian driver on two moments, either if he wins or if he crashes badly,
right,
because that was what the national television and newspapers have to fill out their pages, right?
right.
So I talked to him and I said to him,
Hold on, hold
let's
on.
start.
You're
Yep.
coming over like with a background effect or some kind of disturbance, or is it me?
Oh, oh, it was me. Yeah,
Say something?
it's okay now, I guess.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Cheers. So go on.
Right. Um, so I talked to him and I said, "Hey, let's just build a blog where we can start telling everybody what is Juan Pablo Montoya doing, what is Tatiana Calderon doing, what is Carlos Munoz doing, Sebastián Saavedra, Gaby Chavez, Johnny Hernandez, Gustavo Yacaman, all our Colombian drivers, and making information about the everyday of each of those drivers. And it was at the very beginning a blog. It was just that because we didn't know that would be a massive hit as it becomes there. So by May of 2013, I have the chance to fulfill another of my personal dreams that was going to attend the Indy 500 on person on the track. So that was the blog started like 1 month prior to that race, and the people was already uh, making a lot of visits to the website and bringing information and comments and sending good wishes and asking for more information and asking for more drivers to do the coverage. And the 2013 Indy 500 was our very first on track activity, making coverage for our blog with photo, with photographs and information prior to the race, during the race, after the race. And I I have a really funny story there on that race because I don't know if you remember correctly, but Tony Canan was the winner of that Indy 500.
Yeah.
Carlos Munoz, the Colombian driver, was then a rookie, and nobody, well, basically nobody gives a shit about him. So nobody cared then about Carlos. But that guy, man, just drove fantastic that day.
I remember that.
All race long, he drove fantastic. He finished second. Even to this day, I swear to God that if that yellow flag on the uh, with 2 laps to go, if that yellow flag didn't appear, I swear to God that Carlos will win the race.
Oh yeah, he was
Uh,
on a good way to do that. I remember that race.
yeah,
I remember that race. He
yeah,
was. I thought this guy's going to become champion.
yeah, and in fact, even to this day, that more fans are asking, not only Colombian fans but also fans in the U.S. are asking whatever happened to Carlos. So he make a blazing start to his IndyCar career, and of course he was happier than anybody. I think he was even happier than Tony Kanaan.
I think so.
So. Um, well, the funny thing with that is like I was on the grandstands in one. I just jumped across the track because you can after the race you can cross the track to go to the infield. And I joined some friends of mine that were on the track that day as well. As well, they traveled also from here from Bogota to Indianapolis, and I joined them there, and we were just in the entrance of Gasoline Alley, but we didn't have any chance to the garage because that you need a special paper to go there. So I just watching, waiting if Carlos will come over and say hi and bringing them some cheers because, of course, that was amazing. That was an amazing experience. And at that moment, some there were a father like with 2 sons coming out of Gasoline Alley, and I asked them, "Hey, you wanna give us the access as a gift? Access as a gift? We just want to go there and say hello to Carlos and nothing else." And they literally bring us the access to the Gasoline Alley. That it was a yellow paper that gives you access to that part of the garages. and we didn't have to pay anything for it. They say, look, yeah, take it. We are just leaving anyway, so take it. We came inside and make congratulations to Carlos. He was happier. You can't believe how happy he was today. Um, and of course, I took a lot of photographs from the car, from Carlos itself, from a lot of stuff in the garages because it was it was an amazing opportunity for me. I think but that by that moment I didn't know I was able to come back again to that part of the track, right? So I took a lot of photographs, but that and by the moment I was about to get out of, of the track, I just saw Mario Andretti passing by,
Oh wow.
and I have the chance to take a photograph with Mario Andretti. So can you? I mean, could you even believe it? With the godfather of motorsports. So it was amazing.
That is amazing. What a story.
And after that, I came back to Colombia, and the only thing that I have for sure was that I must go on with this project because not only I have some big opportunities to give a new content to the people here in Colombia, but also I enjoy it in any in a way that it was out of this world. I enjoyed a lot to be there to watch that races from a different point of view, and that was the moment where Colombia motor fans just started moving, and every time we try to make new stuff and make new things and give to the people different contents. And so far, there has been 7 years already, nearly 7 years working on Colombia Motor Fans. That's not my main job. That's not even a paid job for everybody. Um, I work as an engineer. I'm an engineer. I work on it, and I take uh, money from my monthly income as an engineer to pay for everything we need to to support Colombia motor fans. But well, I can't deny it has been a great experience because so far we have nearly 100,000 followers on our social networks. So it is a really big project now.
Wow. Okay. So what you
And
don't know so far is that I'm planning on doing obviously this interview along with an article and then some images for Colombia Motor fans. Now the question is, how do I go about having my article published?
for Colombia motor fans, you have open doors, man. And and we in fact we let some uh, in some I mean, it's not that often that we open the doors to a fan to write down any article, but we do it sometimes. And of course, if you want to write something out, you can do it, man. No problem about it.
Okay, good. So I actually am talking to the guy, so good to know. Um, that's huge. 100,000 followers.
Yeah, yeah, it's something that I never expect to be that big, and the whole experience that I have with that project, man. Thanks to that project, and thanks to the passion that you put on the things that you work on. I always follow one sentence that Roger Penske had during his successful career in motorsports. That phrase is that sentence is effort equals results. So that's for me that's a rule of thumb. So you have always to be to bring passion and to make the biggest effort possible, and the results will come one way or another.
Very true.
I have so many memories from this moment on Colombia Motor France. And I worked with Juan Pablo Montoya in 2015. We were the official press media agency for his karting charity event here in Bogota. Uh, we worked with on that race. We worked with Montoya, with Castro Neves, with Carlos Munoz, of course, with Travis Pastrana. He even did a backflip on the racetrack in Bogota here to the people. It was the biggest event of the of all the events that Montoya did with his karting charity event. It was the biggest. Nearly 20,000 people attend the grandstands, so it was really big. Um, I also worked with another Colombian driver, Gustavo Yacaman. He drove for a short period of time in the Indy Lights, and then we traveled to Europe to drive in touring car racing. And in 2016, even though I'm not a journalist, that's not my profession, that's not my career, but the passion and the skills that I gained through these times gave me the opportunity to become the press officer for Gustavo during 2016 and making the press releases for the media and bringing him to interviews. I even did some racing coverage on live network television here in Colombia. So that was a lot of things that I never ever thought that I was able to do. It's one of those memories that you keep forever, man. You can't forget anything about it.
I'm listening to you and I'm amazed. I never knew any of this.
I have some video footage from my coverage in racing television, and it's funny because,
That I
man,
saw, that I've seen, and I was so happy for you. I was like, yeah, let's just do so.
it has been really funny on that moment because everything started with a as a backup plan. I mean, that channel had the two guys confirmed to racing coverage, but at the early, I mean, the race was on Saturday. Gustavo drove on that season. There were two races per weekend, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And the first race of the championship was that Saturday, and the Friday morning, one day prior to the event, the the race analyst that was hired to do the job said, "Hey, I'm off. I can do it. Period. Goodbye." So
What?
the channel and we just keep shocked because we have the racing. I don't know how, like the commentator, like
Right.
the guy that called the race, the play by play,
Mm-hmm.
but the channel didn't have the race analyst. So Gustavo's father told me and said to me, "Hey Andres, we have a major problem. We don't have a race analyst. The live coverage of this weekend. We don't have any option but to bring you to the live television network and make you the job for this weekend because we don't have any choice. We don't have time." I remember the first thing I said to him was, "Hey, are you nuts? Are you nuts or what? I'm not even a journalist. I don't know how television works, man. What do
Well,
you
you're a sim racing
what do
champion.
you think I'm gonna do?" And it wasn't only going to television to make some reports. It was really live television. So if you screw it up, you screwed up badly, man. An interesting
Mhm.
challenge for me. I remember that Friday night, uh, I I didn't even sleep, reading about the championship, reading the rule book, having many information, details, data about the car, about Gustavo, about the track, about the rivals, and of course you are never prepared for being first time on live television with a camera pointing to you. So I was scared. I have to tell you, I was really scared. And to make things worse, the announcer of the play-by-play, he was the first to present on camera. He opened the broadcast, and he said my last name wrong. Live television. He said, "Well, we are here with Andres Gonzalez. Welcome, Andres." And I looked to him like, "Hey, what the fuck are you talking?"
That's
So
hilarious.
um, it was funny. It was really funny, but it was really funny. But
But it's a good
I
sign.
mean, I think I did the job really well because the channel kept me all season long, and even in 2017, despite I signed off as a press officer for Gustavo at the end of 2016. I decided to resign because the times were so tight. I finished that year really tired. It was a big effort, but I mean, by working as a press officer, I won. I don't know. To give you an example, I won 10 coins working as a press officer. But my main job as an engineer, I was winning four or 3 or 4 times more.
Right.
So I was putting on risk. I was putting on risk uh, my main job to fulfill the requirements to do the press officer thing, and I choose to maintain my economic, my financial stability, and I decided to sign from the press officer job. And but despite of all of that, the channel still contact me in 2017 to take the coverage for Gustavo once again. So I did it until the middle part of that year.
Right. Right. Um, so you were actually for at one point paid to be a press officer. What about the TV expert? Did you get any, any money from that?
Not directly from like an income from the TV itself, but at that moment, Colombia Motor Fans was still on the rise. So the agreement that I took with the channel, because the first thing the team told me was, "Hey, there's no money here. So if you want to do the job, go get it, but there's no money. Don't ask us for any money."
Right. That's
So I
fair.
said to him, I said to them, "All right, I won't ask you for money, but I ask you for advertisement. I have my project, I have my website. If you want that I stay here as a race analyst, you have to pass me at least 4 times during the live coverage of the race the advertisement of my website." So we did that. We went to that agreement. And, well, it worked because during the race days where the advertisement passed through the live television, the the visitors to the website increase. So it works.
Yeah, it obviously did. Wow. Wow. See, I obviously you started SCART. I know that. I didn't know you rocked so hard in all of Colombia. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I told you, I don't even think that I just achieved any of the things that I achieved thanks to that project. But all of this started with our forums on SCART, talking about racing there, like dealing with the administration stuff, how to build a proper community.
True.
That was the early steps that I took that bring me to that opportunity, and so far is just amazing. And well, 7 years nearly now, so it's great.
Truly is. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. How about that?
And I have a question for you,
Sure.
if I can make it on this time. How how do you support all these things about SCART for so long, man? You have nearly 8 years working on this thing now.
I can tell you. I actually started. I told this to Dan. It's funny you asked that. I started sim racing online because I wanted to do IndyCar. Um, I obviously had raced all my life, from arcade to real life to whatever. But sometime around the mid 2000s, and especially 2007 8, I really had this need for, I want to race Indy style racing. And I saw this video of a simulator and got that title and started sim racing online. Spent 2 years there, learned so much, had more success than a small admin team could take or would want to have. And then I was kind of over it. I had made so many experiences, um, and found SCART. My interview. Um, I had actually told people go to R Factor, go to Card Factor, but myself I was kind of hesitant to switch, and so eventually I did switch. I'm so lucky and happy I found on the R Factor server list. I found the Card Factor mod. I think I went by alphabet, yeah, and that's how I found SCART. I joined the server. I met the two Amundreds. Um, I went to the website and forum and introduced myself, and the rest is history. Now, back to your question, how I maintain it. Obviously, I found my racing paradise, so I put all my heart and experience into it. Um, but sometime in 2014, I felt like, for on the one hand, Dan, he had learned so much, he could take over. On the other
Yeah.
hand, I felt like I'm not being innovative enough. So up until that point, up until that point, up until an electric engine with fantasy tracks, with just about anything R Factor could provide, with a super, I guess supercharged literally and highly modified mod card factor. Um, we I felt like it has run its course and we took it to the max. Honestly, I also was a bit disappointed that all the doors I knocked on did not have the resonance I would have expected, because I went to the cart alumni, to people in IndyCar, to I messaged what's his name, Gerald Forsyth, and I felt like we're putting so much into it and there's not enough coming out. Well, again, if you want it done right, do it yourself. So that's what I did. Uh, we had our challenges. We had our challenges
Mm.
after Ben couldn't provide the server anymore. Justin Lee took over for a while, and then fortunately Mike Murillo took over the server, because back then I did not have the money I have now. Um, and I always had to jump from one chance or opportunity to the next, and see that things go on. Um, but in 2014, I felt like this is it. I would cherish all the memories, all the legacy, really. But I couldn't do any much more anymore. Um, and then Dan took over, and like a year later, I saw SCART was moving on to Game Stock Car Extreme, and I was amazed. I was so proud of Dan. I said, "Wow, you did it! You took SCART to a new title and evolved the whole community." And so since then, I've been racing once in a while. I promised myself to at least do one race per season because my life changed in 2015. I started studying. I got involved here locally so much. I joined a political party. I'm a member of a board in two societies, and I couldn't really race anymore. I didn't want to race that much anymore. I also had a different mindset. I felt like most people want to do pickup racing during the week, like myself. When I get home, I want to just race. I don't want to test. Um, um, and then I also felt like we need some more creativity, some more possibilities for people to do with a sim, not just having to learn all these steep things like Photoshop and modding and 3D modeling, whatever, and programming. But I still wanted to make sure that things go on because I knew this was that special. And as tough as it was to lose you guys like you and Breitas and Mundruds and whoever, um, as fortunate it was that Dan took over and runs it until today. And so whatever happened, say me leaving but still promoting SCART or the community, um, having a split, Dan and Dragan having some disagreements, everything was fine, but they wanted their own thing, so I helped there. Dragan took over Racing Nexus, Dan and the others became OSR. And to keep this together, I created Racing Sports, which is like, I guess, a common forum or network to make sure everything is still connected. Because I feel like what we achieved is special enough to be remembered, and also special enough to carry into the future and maybe become even more. I mean, we started as a small SCART, right? Or you did and I joined, and we went from one series to two series, thus becoming a league. Then from two series becoming two leagues. Then in 2017 we expanded into real life with the go-kart series, and by now the plan is to build our own cars, like very cheap, simple pedal cars, for many reasons, for safety and for financial being mostly the reasons. And of course, in sim racing, I want to learn 3D modeling and do the content myself because ultimately, no new title was as good a successor as it should have been compared to R Factor 1.
Nobody, no one, not even iRacing with all their marketing
Nope.
machine.
Nope. And all the disappointments, a set of cores, R Factor 2, the Arisa titles they have a great quality, but they're not R Factor 1. And I feel like that's one thing missing. Something where people can race, can be creative, can do the full sim and the arcade. That's the two goals I have. So virtual racing on a totally different scale with all the creativity and all that, and real life racing with more safety and more affordability, because still racing is crazy expensive sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
You shouldn't have asked because this was a long answer.
Yeah, it's fine, man. It's fine. I'm great to know all that projects that you've been working on these years because I've been like disappearing from everybody. But well, I guess you should know by now that that's my way to be. So I mean, sometimes I'm here, some other times I just go away, fly by, and go to do some other things. But it's great to have this time to all the good stuff we are making all together with Dan, with Ben, with Matt, everybody. It's great to have this time.
True, very true. And I mean, we had the race Sunday. Really, we had a race at Michigan, like a test race with SCART. And guess what? We had just about anyone there was a champion or a race winner. So the old guys, some of them are still here, and the new ones have come, and it's beautiful.
Amazing.
You know who's missing?
Are
They were
you?
missing. Bradus is missing. Ben was missing. All the old guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I
I'll try to go back. Are you racing every weekend?
well, see, that's what I'm thinking myself. Maybe not every weekend, but at least some every once in a while, be more active here. Because the things I started back in 2015, some of them are finished, and the others I have, I guess, mastered to the point where I can achieve more with doing less. Um, and obviously, I care for the sport. Like you say, it's a matter of heart, especially SCART.